So, if you go to any of these websites and if you go to any of these home pages, right? So now let me just decode something for you that here, if you can see, here there is all the different banners, and here you have all the different categories. So I'll show you how to add those as well. Then you have the products. In fact, you can add videos. So I'll walk you through how to add these videos as well. And then you have another carousel, product carousel, slightly smaller over here. So you can do that as well. Please understand, this is looking much more cleaner because they are using all the paid plugins, right? It's just the only difference is that we are trying to do this completely for free, right? And that's why the beauty or the finesse of the website is not as much of a pro version. But while you're beginning, while you're starting something, I think this is more than enough to begin with, right? Awesome. So now we come down to the last part. If you see the list as well, what we want to do is basically create a header and a footer, right? So any website, every website, in any country, you will see having a header, which is predominantly the logo and all of these things, right? And at the same time, help, logo, these icons, etc. And at the same time, having a footer as well, which is this particular your logo. Again, there is a line here, right? You can add all of these things, and in fact, you can create this clickable links as well over here, right? So we are trying to do something like this. So let's first try with header. Now, in general case, again, if I want to add a header, I'm going to come back to my website backend again. Um, in fact, I can directly add a header from here as well, right? So in any section, if I just go plus here, I can do this is a headline, not a header, but again, in the pro version, you will get all of these things. Now, unfortunately for us, because this is not a pro version, Elementor Pro has a section of header. So what you can do when it comes to Elementor Pro is you can come down to this, and if you go to settings, sorry, if you go to appearance, and inside appearance, you will see some stuff. Okay. Here, if you are using a pro version, you will see all the stuff with respect to an header or a footer. Unfortunately, in our case, because we are not using an Elementor Pro, we are not getting those particular options. So in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to make use of a free plugin, right? And I have already mentioned the name of the plugin here. It's called Ultimate Add-ons for Elementor Lite by Brainstorm Force, right? This is again one of the many plugins that are used for header and footer, but this is one of the best plugins that I've seen so far. So I'm going to click on just one thing, that is add a plugin. And I am going to search for this particular plugin. Just give it a quick sec while it loads, right? And you will see what is the brand name, brainstorm.force, right? So you will quickly see this is a starter template. This is again Brainstorm Force. We use a starter template to basically in fact, I am just going to use this. Starter template again is another amazing plugin by Brainstorm that we use to build AI websites for. Yep. Can you see ultimate add-ons for Elementor? This is what we want. I'm just going to click on install, and I'm going to very quickly activate this as well. Yep. Awesome. So now you will see this particular board, the plugin here which says welcome to UAE, etc. Let's get started. We can do this all later on. I don't want to get actually started this right now. I can skip practically everything. And actually, I just want to go back to my WP admin backend. Yep. And now you will see the UAE plugin is here. And now inside this, you can see a header and a footer, right? So the first step is what we want to do is add a new header. So I'm just click on add new. And let's put this header 01. Yep. And I will select a template here that says header. Now it is asking you a question that where do you want this to be displayed, right? Do you want to display this on all the websites? Do you want to display this only on a few specific websites? So you can go for entire website. There's no problem with that. In fact, go for all the entire website. You can have an exclusion over here, right? So any website, any page, let's say for example, I want to exclude this from all the blog pages, right? So all posts is basically your entire blog, right? Your front page, WooCommerce shop page, wherever you want to ignore this, you can in fact ignore this. We don't usually ignore it from here. Whenever you're building a page and if you want a header or a footer to not to be shown on that particular page, you can just go to those specific page settings and still ignore that. So I'll walk you through how to do that as well. But as of now, I want this to be on the entire website. It is asking for what type of users will be able to see this. So again, we want all type of users to see this, right? And you don't need to really change anything over here. You can just, there are different things that are here, but nothing to be changed. Don't change anything and just click on publish, right? So basically, we have published a header named header, right? Header 01. But it's an incomplete. There's nothing on this particular header, right? So we need to first edit this with Elementor. Right now, it's a blank header. All right. So now, again, how we build a page, similarly, we will get to how we build a page. Similarly, we will get to edit a header. All right, so what I want to do is I want a header and I want two sections in a header. So I'm going to click on this plus, come to a grid and have a split grid like this as a header. First is, let's say for example, we want like a list. So let's go with an icon list, right? And the only thing is usually it's these details are horizontal on the top. So these are going to be changed to uh, horizontal instead of vertical. Let's say, for example, the first thing we want to add is a phone number. The second thing I want to add, let's say, for example, is a email address. So I'll just put my email address. So I'll just put my email address here. And the last thing that I want is a physical location. So let's say, for example, for now, I'm just going to put it as Mumbai. Yep. Now the next thing that we want to change is the icons. So I'm just going to click here and here we want a phone icon. So I will just select phone and select a phone as an icon, right? So you can see phone and then I can one by one change the colors as well. Right? So we'll do that in styling. Meanwhile, for email address, we want to update the item icon as mailbox. So either this or just an envelope, right? And I think this is sufficient enough. Click on insert again. And here it says a circle, which does not make a lot of sense. So what we're going to do is, let's say, for example, just select a location and insert, right? So across all the three categories, we have the icons that we want. Now we can basically play with the icon colors. And again, I want all of those to be in black, right? And I think we can go for a red as well and the text to be in black, right? And just in case if you want to change the text colors as well, you can change all of this here. So text color right now is here, but if you want to change it, make it maybe completely black, I can just move the needle a little over here, right? Now, what is also important is to add social media icons, right? So I will just click on social here, and this is what you get as social icons. And the size is a little too much. You can add a couple of icons. So I can add, we have Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, you can add Instagram, Snapchat, etc. All of this you can add more over here and just select the icon, etc. Right now it shows WordPress. So you can change and add the name, shape is rounded. Alignment is center, but I'm gonna move it to the right, right? And this looks really big as compared to your contact details. So I'm just gonna play with the size a little bit and make it in alignment to the text. I think this looks better, right? If you come here for radius, if you want to make it slightly more rounded, so you can play with that as well. And that's how you have all your icons back here, right? Now, the next thing that I actually am looking for is to add a logo, because any website you see on the home page on the top, you have this logo, right? And all of this is present already over here. So what I'm going to do is add another two sections over here. Yeah. And one, this specifically is for my logo. So I'm just going to set it for an image, right? And I'm going to paste a image here, which is basically going to be my logo. And then I can just, I'll see if I have, I don't think I have any specific images for a logo, but let me give it a shot. So let's come back here, pet supplies. Do we see a logo? Actually, we do not. Uh, uh. So, all right, let's, for the sake of convenience, assume this is my logo, right? So I'm just gonna select this, right? And the bone is basically the logo, right? And you can select the size, you can make it large, you can make it medium, however you want it. Again, it's a logo, so you can make it the way you want. Medium 300 by 300. You can see different sizes here. Cool. And here in this case, I want to add, let's say for example, a button, right? So I want to add a button over here. So I can just say, actually, we're looking for a button, sorry. So just come here, add a button, and we want shop now, and I can give it a lot of different things for the button shop now, right? And get free access, get premium content, could be anything with respect to the button. Yep. And then let's come and style the button. The color is really bad. Needs to look. So this is the text on the button. I'm trying to keep it white itself, but the color I want to make it really sharp. I think black is okay to begin with. And if you want to add some shadows to the button, so you can, add a little bit of shadow here like this, a vertical shadow like this, right? Because buttons with shadows look really good. You can blur the shadow, etc. You can spread it to be slightly bigger. This is too much. I think this is okay, right? This is actually slightly less. And you can give a color to the shadow as well. So if this is black, maybe match it with the logo or something. So I can do that as well. Yep. And here again, I want, let's say, for example, this button to be slightly like a rounded pill instead of just a square. So you can do that. You can play with padding and all, and position also. I'm going to keep it in the extreme right because I want it to be in alignment with the logos over here, right? And with this, I'm going to save this, actually this image, because it's an image and it's not like a logo here, and that's why we are facing this particular problem, right? Otherwise, it would have been in alignment. Let's see if I can align this slightly better in style. I will, I can maybe play with the size of this. Yeah, I think this makes sense, right? So let's try to shorten it a little, but also to make it visible enough. Oh, this is bad. I think this here makes sense. So what we can do is so now I'm going to just hit publish, right? So the minute I publish this, it means that it's going to be saved, and our header section is now completely ready to be used, right? So now what I'm going to do is come to my original website and just going to hit refresh. So you will see a different header section altogether come here, And now if you see, once it's completely loaded, this is exactly how the header looks. Of course, it's not in a great shape. What I can actually additionally do over here is we can select this and we can maybe play a little with the containers. So I can actually go ahead and see if I can add a box over here. So I'm gonna reduce the height. Width is okay, so I don't want to play with the width again, right? And this is okay. This is full width. Let me see if I can box it in a style. Let's go to background overlay. In fact, let's go with a border, and I can go for a solid border, and I can make it as broad as possible. This is too loud actually. Let's make it slightly smaller. And if you want, you can play with the border radius and stuff like that. Yeah, but I think this is okay. I think this is much better. At least it gives some definition to the header. And now if I come here and refresh, you can see me update the header of the website. So yes, so now if you can see even here in this because this is a different container, I can add a box over here as well. I can add a box here. But this is basically how you make a header for your website. And now similarly at the bottom, we want to build a footer for the website. So again, I'm going to come here um, and I will just focus on my WP admin. Basically, I want to go to the backend. I will go to the same plugin, right, which is UAE, and go to header and footer. Again, I'm going to add a new, and this time we will add a footer to the website. So here this is footer 01, and this is a footer. Again, on the entire website, you can exclude a couple of pages if you want, again for all roles. So same thing here, right? And click on publish, right? And then again, once this is published, I will edit it with Elementor. Again, the same process, right? So whatever you make changes now is going to be on footer. If we see in the meanwhile, what is the content of a footer? So there is, let's say, all of these items, general information here. So there is a logo here, a line here. So let's try and replicate this itself, right? So first you need a container, right? This is for your footer, and that's why you can see it's on the bottom. What does this container have? This container has a logo, space for a logo. So in fact, first thing is we need to divide this actually. So I'm just gonna put grid inside here, and this is this is one, okay, two rows and one column. Yeah, and now inside this, the first one is, I think instead of an image, if we go with a logo, it might make sense. So let's try this. Yep. And for a site logo, right? And no, it won't give you that particular custom image. Let's try and put that particular image here. Let's see if it looks better. It looks the same actually. I thought this logo would make the image look better, but no. So you have to design a logo pretty much like that. And what did we have here? We had just one line. In fact, so let's copy the same line, in fact. And here I am clicking on this plus sign. Here I will add a text editor, right? And instead of this, I will just say K9 snacks is a wide range of for pets, and it's not just grooming products. So it's going to be wide range of toys, accessories, and food related products for pets, helping our bros instead of pets. Best since 2005. This is okay. And now I can slightly change the text as well. So here, let's say make it bold. If you want to change anything over here, right? So um, we want to change anything over here. So you can try. So this is bold, which is good. And you don't want this to be in pointers. In fact, this area is slightly longer. So I'm going to go in style and I'm going to try changing the typography. No. I will try to change the width from here maybe. Okay. No, that's the max we can do. So I will. All right. I actually wanted to make this slightly longer as compared to this, but I'm not getting that option here. No, none of these can be changed. Cool. But again, we have a very basic idea of this, that how does this look? In fact, while adding this, I could have just changed how the grid looks, so it would have looked better. Let me just redo this stuff. So this, but let's say we want it in this particular structure. This slightly makes sense. In this case, I'll add an image. I will add an image here. The image is basically of the, yeah. Select now the text. Now it slightly makes sense. Here you want to add a text editor, right? And the text was, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, and this text basically was toys, accessories for pets, all things nice, all things beautiful. Now let's see what else they have here. They have this list like this. So I'm gonna try and copy all of this here itself. Again, we will add, and in fact, let's click here and add grid. Add a grid. And this is, if you see this as a grid, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 vertical, right? So instead of 3, I want to go 4, and here it's still 1, right? And again, in each of these blocks, it's going to be text editor. Uh, each of these 4 blocks. Text editor. And it's all going to be all of these details like this, right? So I'm just trying to make it simpler. What you can do is always copy paste all of these things. Again, in this section, we want a text editor. Okay, a text editor. Yep, and paste the same items like there, general information, subscription plans, and we can edit the text again, like the way this is, right? So make it bold, etc. And same thing here for this section. We have another text editor, and the text is here, right? And this last section is an image. So again, I will click on this plus sign and add an image over here. And this is going to be whatever this image, right? So I can in fact make it something like this. So in fact, here I can first style this in a different color. So this is okay. Let's give it slightly different color. Actually, this image is been brought like this. It's a blank image which is brought here, right? In my case, I'll try and give this an image which is slightly blank, which we do not have per se. Let's keep our logo itself. And here itself, they have attempted to put all your. So had it been a blank image, I could just place the social icons on top of that, right, on a blank image. And all of this then becomes clickable. And then you see mobile app, app store, etc. Right. And all I now need to do is just click on publish. And now if you see, if you go and refresh my website, right, I'm just gonna come here and now we don't need this anymore. So quickly let's refresh this and now you see a header section, you see an image. Now of course this is a home section, that's why you're not seeing anything else. If I go to the specific page, we'll start seeing the footer as well. So if I go to shop now again this button is not clickable, should not lead to any place, but from here if we go to, let's say for example, our backend, and if I go to pages, all pages, and if I select our shop page, the entire edit is gone. Oh, sorry, we did edit the home page. Sorry. So let's come back to the home page. Did I not publish the page? I think I didn't publish the page very well. Let's see all of these pages. Yep. Sorry, it was on the my blog section. Okay, got it. Right. So now you see, of course, it doesn't look that pretty because we didn't invest a lot of time, but all your headers are here, your shop page is here, all the products are here, pet safe, all of this is here. You have your logo and this and all this information, which is on the footer. This actually icon split in the bottom, which we didn't want, but this also went down over here, right? But this is how you create your header, footer, and a shop page. Cool. So I think in the next sessions, we look at how to create some landing pages. I will also teach you how to add a WhatsApp button, how to add a chatbot button, etc. in the subsequent sections.